Welcome back, everybody, to Comic Shop Talk on the Late Night Collectors community. I'm your host, Nico, and joined with me today, as always, is my co-host, Chris. How's it going?
Hey, not too bad. How are you?
I'm good, man. Yeah, here, looking forward to talk about some comics with you, as always. Maybe not so much about the stars, because they really step it up there for Chris.
Big game tonight for him, so
Yeah.
I gotta get to business.
Let's hope Chris doesn't get swept. Maybe we'll be having another conversation next week here. I know you guys tune in for all of our hot hockey takes here on Comic Shop Talk, but yes, we enjoy those as well. But yeah, no, we're here to talk about another great week of comics, guys. We're going to be talking about the comics that came out for the week of May 24th, 2023. This is our weekly comic book review show where me and Chris talk about the comics that we've read every week. We give you our ratings and thoughts on them. We talk about some other comic related stuff. Like later in the episode, we'll be talking about some of the new solicitations for DC Comics and some other publishers that are going to be coming out in a couple of months, like some of the new books that were announced, things like that. And, we show off the art. You guys get an idea of whether or not maybe you want to pick up some of these books. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If this is your first time checking us out, the Late Night Collectors community, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And you can also hit the notification bell to be notified of when these shows do come out weekly. They normally drop anywhere between Friday and Sunday whenever we can kind of put it out after we've read our books. We do our best to get it out there for you guys. And spoiler warning, as always, be forewarned. We are going to be talking about what happens in the books, so we might spoil something. You can always read your books and come back. Check us out. Got a playlist here on the YouTube channel. But yeah, other than that, Chris.
All right, cheers. Let's talk comics.
Talk some comics. All right. First up on the docket today, we got Fury #1. I got my issue right here. I got the Chris Samnee cover for mine. A huge fan of his art, so I was really happy to grab a variant. He's been doing a lot of variants lately, actually, between DC and Marvel. So it's always nice to see him when he pops up. And as well as Nick Fury, it was nice to see a Nick Fury comic pop up. It's rare that we kind of get that these days, especially one with the older Nick Fury. So what did you think of this, Chris?
Yeah, well, I didn't mind it. I thought it was kind of like an anthology stories, but they strung it together pretty well, and it sort of explained, I guess, the two different Nick Furies. I didn't know how they really put this together in the Marvel canon, let's say. So it was good to understand that. And I think, was this like a going away or something for Nick Fury at the end? Because he doesn't he go through some like portal to kind of find himself?
Yeah, so like previously, ever since Original Sin, which was an event that they did with Jason Aaron wrote, he made the older Nick Fury basically like the Watcher, essentially. Like he
Yeah,
was
like the Hand of the Watcher or something.
man on the wall is what they called him, and like he kind of he overlooked things. He had the powers of the Watcher. I guess he found it fitting because Nick Fury was always up in everyone's shit, and he kind of knew all the secrets, and he knew everybody, and it was kind of like, okay, well, as a direct relation to kind of what the Watcher does, I'm gonna turn Nick Fury essentially into somebody that has those powers, and which I absolutely hated at the time, quite frankly, because it was their way to kind of remove him from the board and put in the
Yeah, just kind of have him around, but not be around.
and bring in the Nick Fury version from the films, right? Right. So which is fine. Like he's an okay character. I've read some stuff of him that I've enjoyed as well. He's Nick Fury's son, but I love classic Nick Fury. So like. Even I felt like I thought this whole thing was going to be like flashbacks of classic Nick Fury. But like you said, they did make a decent story out of kind of connecting the two and kind of sending him off there. I hope that means we might see him pop up somewhere else. He's kind of going on his own journey, it sounds like now. I hope maybe Al Ewing's going to be involved in something, who wrote this, like a Nick Fury series down the road. I don't know. I hope this isn't the last we see of him, because once again, they're kind of just sending them off in different directions lately. And I'm just like, why can't we have him as part of the Marvel universe? Right. Like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just a little disappointed in that part, but I liked how they tried to do like some of the old, like Shield type stories in this though. Like you know what I mean? Like it was entertaining, but this should have been a hell of a lot better than what it was, to be honest. I thought it was a little underwhelming, to be honest with you, because I was really in the mood to read some Nick Fury. Like, I liked all this stuff with the Watcher and the Scorpio Key and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't love every single art style that people were bringing to the table in this. Like, there was a few of them because, like you said, it was like an anthology of stories, kind of. They weren't all great, and the story was kind of bland at times, I felt, but it is what it is. I'll take what I can get when it comes to Nick Fury.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting much of this. Like you said, I was just happy to see some Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And I think, maybe in the future you just might see, and it might be like, what if Nick Fury's where he's off in whatever multiverse that he went to. But who knows?
It is true. They did say that was the portal that the Watcher basically uses for his what if type scenarios that he went in, right? So that's very possible. If they want to relaunch What If and have him as the guy who's basically telling us these stories, I'd be okay with that. But the thing is, like, the Watcher's been around lately too. So, like, he's not the Watcher. I don't know. I kind of don't want to continue with that whole idea that he's Watcher, right? But if he's not the secret agent man type Nick Fury anymore, then, and his son's got to take his place, then they got to find another thing for him to do, I think, than this Watcher stuff, personally.
Why isn't the Nick Fury Jr. now he's the man on the wall?
It looked like that's how they left it, yes, because there's no S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore. But then they also said, if you want to learn more about S.H.I.E.L.D., check out the Fantastic Four #7, which Maria Hill's been popping up in lately, and it seems like she's bringing it back or something like that. So maybe they are looking for a way to bring him back in eventually. I don't know, right? Like, I have no problem with this guy. Is that what you got out of this? Is he the man on the wall, his son, at the end of this? He took his spot, essentially, or?
I thought. But then, when they said more Nick Fury and whatever Fantastic Four 7, that was just the issue from last week, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't remember any Nick Fury in there.
No, I think it was because of the S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff with them. I think it was Maria Hill. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end, how they had that kind of, they had all the Doom stuff, and then there was a couple of pages dedicated to her, like, pushing a file towards one of them. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like we might see the resurgence of some type of agency if it's not S.H.I.E.L.D., right? But he says, looks like somebody's got to be Nick Fury, he says here at the end, and it might as well be me. And then he's standing there with the Watcher behind him saying, and it's called the man for the job. So maybe
maybe just somewhere to put him on pause for a while until I decide what to do with him.
I mean, he's going to be involved in the newest Secret Invasion thing that's coming from Marvel, right? Like, he's part of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that after that's it for him, though. Maybe that's why they're kind of trying to put this to bed now, this version, right? So, I need a Nick Fury, though. Like, whoever you're gonna give me, just give me some sort of Nick Fury. But I kind of want him to be Nick Fury, not this fucking like Watcher. Honestly, it's something that bugs me. So, anyways, what'd you give this one?
I did like that Scorpio character, but I'll just give it a 3.5. I didn't think it was very. I don't think it was overwhelming or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It should have been more, is what I'm saying. Like, this, I think, would have been an easy sell, even for my favorite of the week, if it was more focused and it didn't have so many altering art styles. Like, there was about 4 different artists on this book. I maybe like 2 of them. You know what I mean? So, like, I felt that it kind of dragged the quality down a little bit, right? So, anyways, next up we got Unstoppable Doom Patrol #3. I think it's a 6-issue miniseries. I have 6. What'd you think of this?
I don't know why DC is so down on the freaking Green Lanterns. Like, they make them look like chumps all the time.
Did you like this this Fast and the Furious intro thing here? I don't know, man. I love this book. I hear you on the Green Lanterns thing because, well, it's mostly Guy Gardner that they make look like a chump, which is well deserved. He's a dick, but in my opinion, but like in most people's opinion, but I love this book. This is a fun book, man. I think I love this Doom Patrol. Did you enjoy this, or?
I don't mind it. It's an interesting read. It's holding my attention, and the Star Bro.
Come
I
on.
like the Starbro. It's not like he's a buff dude either. He's just what did he break away from like the Hive Collective of the Stars or something of
Yeah.
Starro?
Yeah. You gotta love Star Bro. Come on. Star Bro. He's like, oh, I'm telling you, I'm not part of the hive mind. He's eating the burger in the back. Oh,
Yeah,
it's good
I
stuff.
got to get on board with these guys there. I'm still not quite there yet.
I mean, every issue they've been kind of pushing the other DC character kind of appearances in this book so far. They even went as far as mentioning how they were in Gotham, disrespecting Batman in this issue, the Green Lanterns. But I just thought this was like a fun issue again. Like it's just a fun road trip these guys take, and they're trying to get away from the Green Lanterns. And there's a whole discussion about Robot Man, in terms of identity and stuff like that, which I thought was pretty interesting. How he's talking about back in the day, like in the original Doom Patrol stuff, which is like the Grant Morrison run he was referring to, which I'm a big fan of, about how the being inside him, he tried to go by a different name, and like Robot Man just called him Larry, like his actual
Oh, man.
yeah, I like this whole scene with the spirit coming out and fucking things up, and then their invisible car, it looks like they're gonna drive into the wall and they go through the building. Like I like that, man. Like it was just fun characters, fun times. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I think the Chris Burnham art is really strong. He suits this book well, his style, and I think this is probably some of the strongest work I've seen from him, because I've been following this artist for quite a while. So, yeah, I like it, man. It's a fun book. I'm definitely gonna double dip, and no, not double dip. I've been reading this online. I'm definitely gonna pick up the collection of this when it comes out, because I'm a fan of the Doom Patrol as a concept. This fucking thing, animal, vegetable, mineral, man. And the person's like, "What the fuck?" And his arms like turning into like a tree. Wacky stuff, man. Yeah. So, so what'd you give this one?
Well, I'll give it a 3.75.
I got to give it a solid 4.25. This one, I think. Yeah.
It was my first run with Doom Patrol, so I don't got a lot of the history behind them to maybe enjoy the intricacies of the story.
Yeah. No, I think it's no, I think it's fairly accessible for new readers, though. I would say, like, I don't think it's focusing on too much, but I hear you. If you don't really know the characters as well, like from other, yeah, I think I've read about like 3 other Doom Patrol series, so yeah, I'm pretty familiar with them at this point. So, all right, next up we got Nightclub number 5 of 6, and this really picked it up, which I'm glad, because
oh yeah,
for a while there, I was just like, I don't know where you're going with this. Like, seemed like it was spinning its wheels a little bit the last couple of issues. But what'd you think of this?
Yeah, they should have started this like freaking 2 or 3 issues ago for sure.
Yeah.
Like, now we're getting to the meat of the story, and it's issue 5.
Yeah.
And they're stuck with some pretty heavy decisions at the end.
Yeah.
And with that cop that I guess that brought the one that turned the one kid into the first vampire of that little group there.
Yeah.
And I don't know, spoiler alert, he gets off pretty quickly. I thought it was a surprise when that happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
just told them his origin essentially, and then he gets
pretty much, expect them to, they're readying for a battle against I guess the bad vampires. So that's what I thought the next issue was going to be, but woof. Well, 3/4 of the way through the issue.
Yeah.
Things change.
Well, like, and the interesting thing was, for a while there, you weren't sure if this guy was the bad guy, the one that kind of set them all up with powers, and then it turns out he wasn't. He was like an undercover cop trying to
infiltrate the
vampires.
The vampire crew. I don't know what you call them.
But he became essentially, yeah. But then you get introduced to all these awesome, like, they tell you all these stories about these other vampires that roll with them, and how like they're all like different and unique and from different eras and all this stuff. I was really getting into it when they're explaining all that shit. I was like, oh, this is like, where was this? Like you said, like 3 issues ago. Not that it's been bad, but I'm just like, this is the hook. This is the hook we've been for, and you give it to us in the second last issue, right?
Yeah, like, I understand the first couple issues, okay, kids getting their powers, blah, 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 and what they're doing with them. But they could have had this running in the background or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the next issue, the last issue of this miniseries, is a double-sized issue. So he could very well, I think, wrap this up in this miniseries. There may not be any more, but I think the door has definitely been left open for there to be possibly more moving forward now. And like kind of Mark Miller has always been like somebody who kind of gets in and gets out on a lot of his concepts in terms of like he just puts out like a little mini series. But there's a few lately that he's been kind of bringing out sequels to and stuff like that as well. So this could definitely, I think, continue with what everything he kind of established in this issue. But like the next double size, he could wrap it up too. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. But
well, I guess these guys are going to be involved in the big game, so
right.
I imagine they'll be around for that. Oh, there's the beheading.
Yeah. I'm just super interested now, and I'm just like, okay, you kind of saved this miniseries for me. Like now I'm considering, because I've been reading this online, picking up the trade because overall I think I've quite enjoyed this. I don't mind vampires when it's done right. I don't need vampires in everything like that I'm reading, because there's a lot of it at times, right? But this was good. This was a good issue. So what'd you give this?
Yeah, I'll give this a 4. I really like this one.
Same. 4 out of 5 for me as well. Yeah, really solid. All right, up next we got Vanish number 7. Got this cover here. I think this is the Daniel Warren Johnson one, if I'm not mistaken. You got the Stegman?
I just got the A cover. Yeah, he's got those Stegman eyes there.
Yeah, which I wish was present in this issue, but
Oh, you didn't like this issue?
Stegman wasn't the main artist on this. Did you not know?
Well, I don't really. I thought there's some of the Stegman, and I didn't really look at that.
There's a bit. He did breakdowns in this, so pencils and inks though. So he did probably very loose. Like there is like a little bit to the eyes and faces. You can see a little bit of Stegman in it, but for the most part, you can tell if you really look, like this is just someone trying to ape Stegman almost, and like it's not as good. I felt the art. The name was V. Ken Marion. It says on the in the first page there is that's who drew this one. So I was a little disappointed in that. But what'd you think of the issue?
I think it's still chugging along. Like it's hard to figure out what's going on, but it's kind of crazy in a good way though. Like every issue's there's always some big twist here. And, like there's a one where you thought he's crazy. Now, the magic's real. And now you don't know if he's crazy or what's going on, but it's still moving along. And I'm still interested in this. Just one thing. I don't know if it's Donny Cates that's writing this still or just kind of plotting out the points, because it just seems to be losing something.
So they have, I mean, it's possible. Because they do have Ryan and Donnie with story credits on this, but I think it's always been that way because they created this idea together, as far as I know. But that's what I mean. I think there's something to what you're saying, just because of obviously his output hasn't been anything as of lately. Like he's dropped all of his other books other than this. And then that's what I mean. And maybe Stegman, because now he's working a little bit more on the story and stuff. Maybe that's why he didn't draw this one fully. I don't know, but I'm still interested in the story, and I liked this issue. To your point, to agree with what you said there. But yeah, I just hope it doesn't lose its steam, because next issue I think is the end of another arc. I think it's been 4 issue arcs, because the first trade I think was only the first 4 issues.
Yeah.
So they may take a break then. I don't think there's anything solicited past issue 8. So I guess we'll see what the future holds. But
yeah, because like there's this Baron Vanish that they're talking about. I don't know if that's new to this story.
I think that's like what's inside of him. I think that's
like it looks like there's some spirit that's trying to take over him or something.
Yeah, I
think from like his days when he was in the magic school or wherever they were when they were kids.
Well, that's the thing. They've been alluding to a lot in this story so far. They've been alluding to a lot, but we haven't really got the full explanation as to like what's really going on, right? We're kind of getting it like piecemeal, like they're kind of giving it to us like a little at a time, right? I mean,
like even just kind of the source of his powers there, because where he gets his hands kind of grinded away at one point.
Yeah.
And then he loses some ring and he starts flipping out. He goes, that's like his ring of healing.
Yeah.
Back from this, and then you learn that he's got a bit more going on than just these talismans and rings or signets or whatever they call them. Mm-hmm. And then the story of his buddy going to hell to trade places with that witch there that's got some information.
Yes.
So there's a lot of good stuff going on in here.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I'm still invested. I just, yeah, I did notice that, like I said, the art wasn't as good as when Stegman's kind of fully doing everything. So I was a little disappointed in that. But other than that, I still thought this was a solid issue. So, yeah, and where it ended, big showdown next issue. It looks like, right? This guy's been kind of making his way towards fighting him for the last couple of issues. So I think we're finally going to get that at the end of the next one. And hopefully they come back and solicit the next arc soon, right? Sooner than later, because I think the next one's the last one that they've solicited.
Take a break, and come back, kind of full
Yeah,
force. I don't mind that either.
most of these Image books between arcs, that's what they do. They take 2 or 3 months off, because when they're drawing and writing this thing, I'd rather the quality be kept up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I can wait, right? That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not used to seeing another artist usually do Image books fill-ins. They'll usually just take their time, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think the art was terrible, but he's like a poor Ryan Stegman, this guy, like, in terms of, like, but you didn't notice all too much. So maybe there's something to it, right? So yeah, maybe if you didn't notice, it didn't affect it for you. I don't know, right? Like, he does look, he did some stuff on the art still, Ryan Stegman, but it's not all him, right? So what'd you give this?
I'll give it a 4 too. I liked it a lot.
I'll give it a 3.75, only for my gripes about the art. But other than that, the story is still really, really good. All right, Chris. Action Comics 1055.
Let's see. Oh yeah, these are the ones with the 3 stories in there.
Yeah.
Sick cover though.
Oh yeah.
Bark Superman. I have to remind myself what's going on in that first story. So they're not that groundbreaking, let's say. Oh, they introduced some Eradicator. I don't know if did you read this or no?
I didn't, but I love the Erratic. I seen him in the art. I was like, yes.
Yeah, I don't know where he came from, and he's like almost like a Vision type of Superman, where Superman can give him orders, and then when he first comes out, he's there to protect I guess the sanctity of Kryptonian blood. And then you got his son there that's half Kryptonian.
Yeah.
And who else was there? Somebody else was there that's not Krypton. A clone was there or something. Yeah. So right away he starts, he's like, hello, do you want me to take care of these two, misfits? He's like, whoa, time out.
Yeah. Like, this is straight up like vibes from just looking at it of like 90s Reign of the Superman type shit. Like, definitely.
Yeah, sunglasses on there.
Yeah. So like when I saw him, because that's my era of Superman, I Death of Superman, like, I was 7 years old when that came out, right? So I was just like, I was loving the look of this. I'm just like, oh shit, they're bringing back all these guys. That's awesome. Right?
Yeah, that wasn't too bad. That was a good surprise for me.
Sure.
And let's see, the second story. What's that going on there? Yeah, the second story is with I guess Clark and Lois living in Smallville with their little kid, and his kid's kidnapped by some other alien race, where the good person seems to be the bad person. It may not be so bad, but they are bad. Clark's fighting, and somehow they shoehorn Doomsday in there too. I don't know why. It's such a waste of a Doomsday story. They got to save Doomsday for epic events, not just to be a side story in a second story. He's like that's like fourth string in there, but what are you going to do about that? I think there might have been some third story. I don't remember what that was. So
yeah, 90s Superman, man, Superboy. This is all.
Oh, Steelworks was in the third story. I'm not a big fan of that Steel character. I don't know. He was at some board meeting trying to, I guess, get the keys to the city to build a new metropolis and all this bunch of stuff. And
hey, Mr. Fantastic shows up.
Yeah, great. So overall, as for the stories go, I'll give them a 3.5. First story was good, but those other ones just bring down the grade.
Right. Okay. Next up, I got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Usagi Yojimbo #3. This one right here. Oh, with the fold-out cover. Well, actually, so I don't have to fold it out myself. You'll see it on the screen here in a minute. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I just love this book, man. This is a treat. I love it. I have so much fucking fun with this issue. This one, in this issue now that they kind of established everything, and then Turtles being back in Usagi's time, feudal Japan, and now they are kind of trying to track down the villain that came from the Turtles time, Dr. Were-Wen. At the end of the last issue, he sent like these mole ninjas after them, like samurai. So all these mole men started popping out of the ground and attacking all of Usagi's boys and the Ninja Turtles. So you just get like, I don't know, like the first half of it is them just fighting these guys. One of Usagi's characters may have gotten killed. I'm not gonna say who, but someone gets taken out here in the melee, and then now they're gonna go and avenge their death, and they want to track down Dr. Were-Wen, and the Turtles are on board because now they feel responsible because he's the one that like they followed back into Usagi's time. So it's like, you know, some drama stuff going on. But by the end of the issue, like I said, you just get all this great cartooning and great scenes of them fighting the mole, the mole ninja. And at the end of it, the mole ninja kind of go and complain to Dr. Were-Wen of why they kind of sent them in to this whole situation. And they said, yeah, we lost a lot of people because of this, so you're gonna pay for this. Like essentially you're gonna like reimburse us or make it up to us or something like that because for our troubles, because you clearly didn't let us know about these other monsters that were with them. And they were referring to the Ninja Turtles because the Ninja Turtles obviously aren't from their time. Like the mole men are from this time, but Dr. Were-Wen and the Ninja Turtles are visitors essentially. So they all kind of ambush this Dr. Were-Wen at the end here. And then he six there. He's samurai robots after them at the end of the issue. So, I mean, you know, Mole Men Ninja, samurai robots, the Ninja Turtles. This is all great stuff, guys. Great cartooning. The guy's 70 years old. That's drawing this. Like I said, I'm just super impressed. It's a super fun book, and I love every minute of it. Five. Best issue yet. 5, throwing out a 5. I just have nothing to complain. This was just a super, super fun book. I had the most fun reading this week. And next up, speaking of fun books, Kea number 8. Another great book that I've really been enjoying. And this is kind of like, you know, a really cool fantasy book. The villain, a big villain, this guy on the cover just got introduced the last issue. And he's abducted. Like they took prisoner Kea's little brother and holding him basically as hostage for Kea to come and try to save him because he wants Kea's big like magic metal arm that he knows that she has. And so basically they're kind of making their way along with the kid as a hostage, and these other men that kind of captured him again are negotiating with this big, I don't know, robot looking bad guy and saying like, you know, you owe us now because we helped you, you know, get him. Meanwhile, Kea is still going through the woods with these lizard men, and there's this awesome scene where they got to scale this crazy wall, and they got to go into this territory with all these like weird wild animals and danger around every corner. And basically, they're trying to chase down the brother and save him at this point in time, but it's through like a really, you know, hairy kind of situations like going on where these woods that they're in, and you know, all these different issues that they have. Like there's huge bats attacking them in this issue. So just super fun, really great art from Wes Craig. You know, again, action, adventure, and some funny moments along the way. Again, most fun having read this book this week. There's a couple of really fun books that I've been enjoying a lot lately, and I got nothing bad to say on this one too. And so fuck it, I'm gonna give this one a 5 as well. This is a great book, worth your time. Best issue of the series yet, because we're kind of in the thick of things right now, in the middle of the storyline, and a really fun storyline. You really have learned a lot about the characters up to this point. And the first trade's out right now. I think it's only $10, guys. Definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth your time. This is a creator-owned book that, you know, that dependent on sales for it to continue. I hope he's doing well with this, because I'm in for the long run with this one. I think this is a really fun book, and I'm happy that he was able to go and write and draw something himself after doing Deadly Class for like I said, like several years. He was working on that book, this artist, right? And that was more Rick Remender's story. Like it was very personal to him. A lot of the stories he was telling in that book were about his childhood and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm not going to say Wes Craig, obviously, maybe he's just a big fantasy fan, but I think this is really, really cool, this book that he's doing. So, yeah. 5. Throwing out 5s like
giving out the 5s like Vegas are getting wins.
Listen, yeah. It's been a while since I've been given a out of 5. Actually, I've been trying to not just throw them out all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, go do the Chris method. I'm trying to grade at a really good level now. But I have nothing bad to say about either one of those books, and they were the most fun books I read this week. So what can I give them, Chris? I gotta give them a 5, man.
No, it's all good.
Yeah. So next up, a book I didn't give a 5 to, The Ambassadors, number 5. To the 5s, The Ambassador, number 5. But what'd you think, Chris?
I think the story's okay. It's moving along, but each issue just seems to be like a origin issue for whoever the new ambassador is. I'm kind of getting tired of that. I guess maybe a big reveal is they had that original ambassador, the original guy that they've souped up with some powers. He showed up. I don't know where this plane came from. When he's trying to rescue those people, that was kind of a weird pull out of nowhere. And that's it. What do you think?
I liked this issue. I thought the artist, it was, what's his name? Matteo Buffagni. I think I've seen his work somewhere else before too. I can't remember where, but I thought the artist of this issue, he's had all good artists on these issues, but this I thought was really good. I really like this guy's style. And I like this guy's story. This guy, I like how this one was a little bit different in the sense that he was kind of an asshole, and then he explained that he was an asshole because it seemed like he was very right wing kind of politics and stuff like that, and his son apparently is a politician in that sense, and against the gay rights stuff and things like that. And then he admits to the woman who's doing this stuff that I guess he was a closeted gay, and that's why he acted like this. So I was kind of surprised that she gave him the opportunity to kind of make right, but he's out there kicking ass in this issue. So I can't, he's an old ass man kind of running around doing, it seems like he had it together as a superhero more so than some of the other people that we've seen. He's actually really into this, as opposed to some of the other people who are yeah, okay, I guess I'll do this, right? I don't know. So I was kind of happy to see that, the way they kind of introduced his character, right? It was an interesting story. Unlike the other book we just talked about, Nightclub, though, there's no way this is going to be one volume. There's no
way.
With one issue, and literally we ended on the fact that, again, we see the bad guys being bad, killing somebody at the end of this, and they're starting up all these other new storylines and characters at the end of this issue. I'm yeah, there's no way after that next issue, unless they plan on making that the main focus of that big game, which I don't see how that's possible because there's so many characters in that fucking book. There's going to be another volume of the Ambassadors, and if he does the same thing and gets a different artist to do every issue or whatever, I'm okay with that. If they do that again, this is good. I think Chris, I think you mentioned this previously when we talked about this book. I think the real story behind this book is going to be whatever the next arc brings, because then once we get the team established, I think you can do some really interesting things with this story. Just right now, it's like you said, we're kind of not getting enough to kind of really have some great opinions on it, right? But it's been coming out every 2 weeks, so I think the pace of them being released has helped too. It's not
I keep you interested for sure.
If we waited 6 months for this story,
that'd be brutal.
That's what I mean. At least this is going to be coming out in half that time. It's been every 2 weeks, right? So I think that maybe that's by design. He's okay, if this is going to come out every 2 weeks, then I'm going to drop big game. But maybe by the time that's done, he'll be ready with the next Ambassadors, right? So I'd be okay with that. I don't think it's bad. I just think you're right. There's not a lot there to the story. It's just okay, here's this guy now.
Yeah, he's on his mission saving, some random story there.
Right.
They got that thread with the evil corporation kind of floating in the background in the last page, going around killing people. But we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm not buying this, so I'm not really fully invested, but I'll read the stories. We'll see how it goes. I'll give it a 3.5 though. I didn't think it was anything special.
I'll give it a 3.75 this issue. Next up, we got Harley Quinn number 30, Chris. This one here. Yeah.
Well, I think one of my favorite issues last week, but this one fell by the wayside again, it seems. There's too much of that stuff in the beginning of that Captain Carrot world or something. It's not a bad issue. It wasn't absolute garbage, but it wasn't as great as the last one was. This thing that need more. think what I liked about the last issues, just the other characters that were involved. When you went to Zatanna and things like that. This one was more on her own, and it's okay, but it's starting to wear thin, I guess. What do
I,
you think?
I did like the idea of her buying the cosmic treadmill somehow and and actually going to Captain Carrot's universe. And I did like the idea of Captain Carrot when she got there, him being all like, I don't know, like like having experienced trauma from like not having that. Like he seemed fucked up when she came there, and he's like gripped.
Yeah, what's a great reason? That was a good part. Yeah. What's the great reason you took this fish for? He's like, oh, no reason.
Yeah, he just flips out. So like having that aspect of this being like a Looney Tune type world and him being like really pissed off and fucked up when she came there, I thought was kind of fun. But
Yeah.
but yeah, other than that, there wasn't much here. I agree. I do gotta say though, they continue to put really good artists on these backup stories, and they've all been kind of different. And actually, the backup stories I think have been actually pretty decent for once. And like because we usually complain about the backup stories, but this one was like, oh, she's having a dream in medieval times or something, and then she up at the end. And Poison Ivy was there. It looks like some interesting things might happen with Poison Ivy next issue, though, because she's like, I guess, coming home from that whole other book, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, a road trip or whatever she's been up to.
yeah. So, and I guess are those aliens now in her hyenas?
I don't know. I don't know if that was just kind of them possessing them or something. Well, like just to be their avatars to talk to Harley.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, like I dug this art. I think there's been good artists on these backups. Everyone has been a different artist, so they obviously are cherry picking some good artists. I felt like for these backup stories. So, anyways, yeah. So, what'd you give this one out of 5?
Yeah, I would give this one a 3.5. Wasn't my favorite either.
Same. Yeah, 3.5. There's some decent stuff, but yeah. Nightwing 104. Here.
Do I have that? Nope. Yeah, Nightwing 104 is the A cover. What's going on in this issue here? Oh yeah, it was a super Robin or super Nightwing, I guess, or what do they call him? Super Wing or something?
Yeah, this is that Neuron guy gave him the powers last issue, and so he kind of lived 2 hours of having Superman like powers in this issue, essentially, right? And they kind of wrapped up the storyline of him saving that little girl, basically with the Titans, and it was nice because they exited the Titans. Now it looks like out of the book now that they have their own series. So like I think by the end of this, they're going they kind of was like a quick wrap up of sorts of this arc.
Yeah, it was pretty quick there when they wrap up that is it Necron and the Laughing Man? There, it was just one page and that's it. The Laughing Man is done. You spend like 2-3 issues building this guy up as a big bad, and he just gets choked out there, and that was it. But other than that, I thought there's some good scenes in here, like that stuff with Superman.
Yes.
When he kind of calls up on, I don't know if that's the John Kent, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh, how long do you got this for?" I go, "I got some time." He goes, "Oh, come with me." And then boom, they take off up to space. I thought that was a good scene there. You can see why they do that too. Like at the end where he tries to tempt them, I guess, with these powers for the soul of the little girl, and of course Nightwing being Nightwing.
No, I think that was Superman. I don't think that was John. I think that was him.
Oh, that's actual Superman. Okay, even better then.
I think so. Yeah, because if you look at the backup story of this, John's got long hair now.
Yeah. Well, either way, I thought it was a good scene there where
it's Superman.
Kind of needs to
because he calls him Superman. He doesn't call him John. It's Superman. Yeah. That was the best part for me in this issue was how he got to show him this. Like, and yeah, they could kind of touch base on the same level for once. It's in some sort.
With him becoming the new leader of the Justice League or the Teen Titans being the new Justice League.
Yeah.
Kind of just passing the baton, let's say, and things like that. And yeah, I thought it was a good wrap up to the arc. And of course, he doesn't get tempted, and he dismisses the powers or says no to them, of course, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, interesting.
Up with Hell too. That was just a kind of little wrap up there too.
Yeah, they kind of left us with the question as to maybe something going on with Raven, which
They're probably going to follow up in the Titans book.
Yeah, which I think kind of makes sense because I felt like Raven in the Titans book didn't seem very Raven-like, to be honest, like with you. Like she wasn't her usual like gloom and doomy type attitude, like, and I don't know if that's her kind of maturing and like, hey, I'm in a relationship with Gar now and whatever else, but like, I don't know, it just felt like not the character we're used to in that. So maybe there's something to it.
This Raven doesn't seem to ring true for me. I don't know. Like I've never really read her, but she's not what I expected. That's for sure.
Yeah, so maybe there's something to it. I don't know, because that's kind of what they allude to at the end here. Something's going on with her, possibly, right? But I guess we'll find out in Titans. But yeah, so what'd you give this one?
Yeah, it's a freaking comic I hate to give good grades to, but I'll give it a 3.75.
I also give this one a 3.75, just because it was kind of a quick wrap up to a really enjoyable arc, I thought. But yeah, it was kind of just a quick wrap up. But the Superman stuff was gold in this. I really liked that. So next up, I got Justice Society of America #4. This was super delayed. I think this is really late, this book. I think the last time I talked about this was like 2 or 3 months ago even, but this is still a fun series. I like it. Mikel Janin, the artist on here, is really, really good. And again, if you're gonna be delayed, but you're gonna come out with really good art like this, then I'm not gonna be upset if it was his fault in the delay, for that matter. Sometimes it's the writer too. So like, don't always think it's the artist, guys. I've heard about some writers that take their time too in that sense. But yeah, in this we kind of had like some of the Justice League Dark type members helping out, and there's this whole like crazy like time travel type story going on with Helena, who's like Bruce's daughter from like a different, I think it's like Earth 2 or something like that, from the different Earth. And she's kind of been dealing with this time travel stuff with the Justice Society of America. And it's just been a really fun story. And like, there's this guy, the bad guy, that's basically been fucking through at the time stream in this. But he hasn't predicted for the fact that her and Dr. Fate from another timeline, because she grabbed him from another timeline and brought him here, would be involved in this Justice Society moment. So therefore, because this guy has predicted every move, because he kind of manipulates time and goes through time, and he knows like the battle, like how it's going to go, he wasn't able to predict. They were the wild card essentially in the fight. So she actually ends up shooting off his finger with an arrow, and he gets all fucked up by Dr. Fate. So then he has to like go back to his time, and he's like, okay, I'm going to try this again. And this time, this is the approach I'm going to take. So there's all this like fun time travel type stuff going on with like legacy type characters and different Earth type characters. And again, I think you have to have a good knowledge of DC, which mine's not the super best. So at times I'm like a little confused. There's been a couple times where I've had to look characters up and stuff like that. But it's still a really good book with some great art. And at the end, she kind of goes and sees her father in this timeline when I guess he was still alive, confronts him about something. And he's taking out some old school villain, I guess that's like a frog of some sort. I don't know. So I give it a 3.75 this issue, though. I'm still having fun with it. It's a good book, and I'll continue reading it digitally. And then we got The Forge #3. These oversized kind of magazine-sized issues. Greg Rucka, Eric Troutman, and Mike Henderson on art. As you guys know from previous 2 issues, I've talked about this. This hasn't been my favorite book. Not really for me. I feel like it's been a lot of space jargon type stuff going on, and like, action type moments and space scenery type stuff. And I just feel like I don't have a handle or like a feeling of who all these characters are. Like if like somebody I think got killed in this issue, and I couldn't even tell you who they were or why it mattered. Like it means nothing when you don't really get to know like the characters at all, right? Like there's no emotional weight to it. So I just feel like this has been more them just up their ass and like the high sci-fi drama type shit of like space action type stories. And like, I don't know, it's there again. I love the artist. There's some cool moments in it. But a lot of the dialogue is like them kind of doing like marine type stuff and space type lingo. And I could care less. I unfortunately I had pre-ordered this first 3 issues because of the way that pre-ordering goes. So I couldn't jump ship after I ordered them already, or else I would have right after the first issue. So I'm done with this book.
Okay, I did get to give this book a read online too.
Oh, did you? I didn't know you read this.
Yeah,
You like it?
and I didn't mind it. It was like it kind of feels like a Halo and Starship Trooper crossover. I like all the characters in mech suits, but I think to your point there, where you don't realize who's who, and someone dies, you don't know where they are. They call all guys, whatever fancy names. It's an all girl team that is out there, so I guess that's a hook there too. But I didn't really like that precog that they had with them. Oh, you need to do this. Don't worry, you'll know later on. And she was, I don't know, they're trying to protect her. What are they? I forgot what they called her.
The Cassandras.
Yeah, Cassandras. Yeah.
Uh,
I didn't really like that. Like, they didn't really use that kind of precog stuff too well, and I wasn't really too impressed with it. But I didn't think it was too bad either.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, like, maybe somewhere down the road, if I sat down with it and took my time and read a big chunk of it, like if they could, like if the series continues, maybe I would like it. Like, there's certain things I like in it, but it seems like more style over substance type shit going on right now.
Yeah.
Time. So like I need, like, for me personally, like all these, like, again, the cool moments, cool art and all that. Like you said, like I think you hit it on the head with the Starship Troopers type vibe. Like there's moments I felt like Alien in this, like that, like I like that stuff. But I think that there are definitely more character defining moments in those things, and then you actually get to know a lot of like the characters before all that shit pops off. And this, I don't think the previous issues really established, because there's so much other things going on in the book that I don't think we've had a lot of downtime with these people to really get to know them. Like, they're all using their code names and everything else. Like, it's all structured well. Like, clearly they have a vision for this book and like they know what they want, but I just don't think they've made it to the point where like I can fully kind of commit to this story.
Yeah, I think the idea is good, but the execution is just off a bit.
Yeah, I bought into this. Like I said, I pre-ordered it away. I was just like, yeah, this sounds awesome. And I've just been a little disappointed. So this is the last issue I'm going to buy. I might revisit it digitally, like the physical issues. I'm not going to be buying anymore. I might revisit it digitally. I think it says it returns in September, because there is some stuff I like about it, like you said, but just not enough to kind of keep me going, like buying it like this. Right. So, and these are $6 issues, right? Retail like price. And, they're oversized ones. So they might put out a really nice hardcover of this. I don't know. But anyways, I gave this a 3 out of 5 personally. What'd you give it?
Yeah, I'd give it a 3.5. Like I was just getting into this world, let's say. So
yeah,
can't be that on it.
Yeah. Green Arrow #2, Chris.
Yeah, I think I read this one online, just trying to follow what's going on in the Green Arrow world. I think he's trapped in like some Earth-like place, because he just seems to be out there kind of doing the same stuff he would here, but it's not Earth. And I don't know. I thought this was underwhelming, let's say, but just some big stuff at the end, which would be enough to hook you into to take a read on #3, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I agree with you. This was not as good as the first issue, I thought, which surprisingly I thought was a really strong debut issue. This was okay, but like you said, he's kind of just like stopping crime on the streets of some other weird planet that he's stuck on currently, right? And then so the art's really strong, and like you said, it's kind of the guest appearance of the week with Peacemaker showing up at the end of this issue and raiding on their fucking parade, as he's doing in all the titles, it seems, at like a DC. So he's not happy about what he's doing. So,
but that's back on Earth, right? The regular Earth.
Sorry, he crashed Black Canary and Arsenal's parade. That's right. Yeah, sorry. But the Suicide Squad seems to be all up in everyone's shit now, and he's kind of at the forefront of that. So, well,
maybe they're setting up for some big fall event or something, I'd imagine.
Probably. The way that he's showing up in a lot of the titles, and he's got a miniseries out right now, and the show isn't even back on the air as of yet, I think that's what's happening. I think you're right on that. I think it's going to be like some sort of suicide. Because it's
not a summer event. We'll talk about those solicitations later.
Exactly. What did you give this out of 5?
I'll give it a 3.5. Once again, nothing crazy.
Same, yeah. Hallows Eve number 3, Chris.
Yeah, so I've been kind of following this miniseries. You know, I thought the big pull there, oh, Spider-Man shows up. I thought the interactions between Hallows Eve and or Janie or whatever her name is and Spider-Man or Peter Parker, because they all know each other. I thought they'd be, I don't know, more telling or different. You know, I kind of find it's odd that she really, you know, a few times I think she goes, "Oh, Ben really should have taken care of Peter." You know, Peter's a punk and all that sort of stuff. And her power is there. They're kind of hit and miss with those masks that she wears. You know, I guess a big reveal there is, you know, Spider-Man was able to kick off one of the masks.
Yeah.
And that stuff with the Danger and the Beyond Corporation, I think that's okay, but it's still nothing super interesting or makes me want to go back to those Beyond era issues, let's say.
Yeah. I hope this guy lands on his feet that ended up helping her, even though he didn't have
The Marcus guy, yeah.
I used to work for Beyond, and it's true. I mean, at least they kind of got the characterization right of that character. I thought that he was a nice guy throughout his time in those books as well. So, like, I hope that she doesn't end up fucking him over as a result, because it looks like by the end of this, he's not in a good position, I would say. And I mean, at this point, at least, I mean, at this point, she's really. I wouldn't even say like it's so much her trying to do good, but she's really just trying to right the things that she fucked up in these people's lives to begin with. Like that's basically like what's on here now. She's trying to like you know, fix her mistakes, let's say. So I don't know if that's like,
yeah, she's not a villain, let's per se.
yeah, but I think like if she didn't mess up so bad, then she may have been one on the run eventually. But like, who knows,
Yeah.
right? But
Well, she's going to be part of the, I think, one of the Amazing Spider-Man annual
okay,
or something. This is going to be part of this story, or so maybe by the time this wraps up, we'll see what's going on there.
yeah,
Because I imagine Ben Riley's going to pop into the, he's going to get out of whatever prison he's in sooner or later and come back to mess up Peter Parker's life.
yeah. So what'd you give this one out of 5?
Let's give it a 3.5. You know,
Same.
I'm glad, I'm happy to read it. I'm glad I didn't buy it.
It's a very middle of the road week, it sounded like here, right? There's very few bright spots this week. Kind of just like it's one of those weeks, it sounds like.
You know, this 5 week month seems to like freaking just drain everything or just dilute everything. That's the word I was looking for.
Yes, I would agree there. Thor number 34, Chris. The second last Torum Grunbeck issue. Or as you'd like to say, Grumber said. What'd you think?
The best thing I can say about this issue is that it wasn't shit.
It was okay, yeah.
It was okay, you know, like I guess since it's the second last the penultimate, I guess is what you like to call it.
Yes.
So things have to happen here. You get a little family reunion between Bor, Odin, and Thor, and you know, I guess there's a little baby. They gets revealed who that baby turns out to be. You know, the Thanos and Doom. You get to get some convos between them. That's fun to see. So a lot of stuff is happening, but it's still not great. And you know, compared to the last issues, this is like head and shoulders above it. But that's it wasn't hard to rise above those last issues. I'll say that.
Yeah, I think in that sense, this issue what it had going for it is the Doom kind of Thanos kind of finally going at one another, and with Thor in the mix and a couple other interesting things, the way they ended it with the Loki thing. Yeah, this is a little bit better, I think, than what we're used to, but I still think this has been a boring story for the fact that all these elements in the story. She really hasn't done much with it, and
of all great characters.
yeah, I can't wait till Immortal Thor though. I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll stick with this for the one last issue that we have.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'll stick with it too.
Yeah. So what'd you give this out of 5?
No, I'll give it 3.5. In the middle of the road, like I say, it's better than some of the last issues.
Yeah,
wasn't great.
Yep. You got it, man. You read my mind. 3.5. So there you have it, guys. Those are this week's comics that we read and we wanted to talk about. All right, let's get to the solicitations though, shall we? We have to do DC first, which weren't out last week when we did them. Let me just bring that up.
I'll have my solicitation smoke here, if that's okay.
Yes, as you tend to do, absolutely. All right. So shout out to comicreleases.com, the site that we normally use for these solicitations. They do a good job putting it together.
Like, thumbs down to DC. What the hell are they doing over this summer? Are they taking a break or what?
I know.
Solicitation is the worst. I don't think I'm buying one DC comic this August.
I'm buying a few, but yeah, barely anything for me either. I decided there might be some things I check out digitally, but I'm not dipping into any of the Night Terror stuff at all.
Yeah, I'm not buying into this Night Terror stuff.
Yeah, so
the Lazarus Planet was baloney.
Yeah.
And one before that, the Dark Crisis.
At
least that had something to do with things.
You brought that point up, and I was just about the last event, which I think you read, and I didn't read that at all, that last one. But I'm like, yeah, you know what? This seems like a bullshit kind of 2-month thing that they're doing. So I'm out.
Like, but all in some dream world, so it's not going to have any lasting effects.
No, yeah.
Unless they're pulling a fast one on us, and we're going to regret not buying any of these. But I'll take that chance.
Me too. I do like this cover though. This is pretty cool. This is like a Hulk homage cover, like the Wolverine Hulk cover, of course, which has been done a million times, but nonetheless, it's still always cool.
It's always good seeing a Marvel homage in DC, or even the other way around,
Right. So I don't know. I'm
not buying it though.
I don't think so. And it also looks like it's like one of the. I think this might be the 1 in 25 anyway, so I wouldn't be buying that for sure. But I'm not buying it either way. But I just wanted to highlight that because that looks cool. Night Terrors number 3 and 4. It concludes, I guess, this month. Oh, see, and they even did the Detective Comics. I think this is the Detective Comics Batman homage 1 year. Yeah, these are cool. I will say that. I didn't notice that they did this on the first 2 issues, though. Did they? Because I don't think they did. So, like, that's kind of odd if they didn't. It's just these last 2. They're like, oh, we got to bump up pre-orders.
Yeah. We're going nowhere. We got to put out the good stuff. I don't think like none of these. Like, I think in the July polls, I bought a couple just on the covers alone, but none of these ones really spoke to me here.
Right. And then we got, of course, because after the 4-issue miniseries, you got to get the end cap Omega type issue with Night Terrors, Night's End #1.
Yeah.
The Night Terrors finale special oversized issue, which you're going to charge you more for $6. So there you have it. That's going to be the finale. That's also going to be coming.
Yeah. What are they going to do? Oh, wake up. Oh, what a dream. And that's it. And they go back to the regular issues.
And yeah, I mean, basically what we have here is, like Chris said, the part 2s to pretty much all the Night Terror books that they had going on in the last month's list.
Yeah, I wasn't really interested in the beginning with.
No, so if there's any covers here you want me to go over, let me know. But otherwise, we're just going to flip through these quick, guys. And we just mentioned that we're not picking any of these up. Maybe we'll read some digitally if we got like a light week. But like, yeah, I
might read them digitally just to see what's going on there, in case I'm missing something. But
yeah. So we got Night Terrors Batman, Night Terrors Detective Comics. These are all
numbers. Put out some sick covers at least.
Yeah, I'll show a couple then here. Yeah, you got some interesting stuff going on. Ooh, that's cool. I like that artist a lot. James Stokoe, 1 in 25, of course. All the covers that I really like are always 1 in 50. Okay. Well, that's pretty neat. This is Detective Comics. Then you got Night Terrors, Nightwing #2. These are all, of course, 2 of 2. And the thing is, too, because they're doing this, these are replacing the titles for the month.
Yeah.
So there's some titles here that you would be like, normally me and Chris would pick up, but
I'm out.
They're not even numbering them during the main series, though. So, like, it makes it even easier for me to be like, well, like we were talking.
Yeah, it's not like, this is, whatever. Harley Quinn 31, right. Night Terrors.
Right. So
you're not really missing out on your run. So I'm glad they're doing that. I guess that's kind of them.
I was about to say it's kind of saving me in that sense, because if it was a break in the run, I would be buying them, right? Because but we're free of that one at least. So Night Terrors Catwoman. And like sometimes I would check these out if they're done by the same writers that write the main series. In some cases, it is like this one. This is the main series writer. So like if anything, I might read those digitally. But again, the fact that they're their own thing seems like they're gonna have no impact on the main series stories at all. So like it kind of makes me even less interested in these things, to be honest with you. So like I don't know. Like that's I don't know what that's a really fucking cool cover, but yeah, that's really shitty in a way. Like it's kind of like we're not even like it seems like DC's even like we're not even all in on
Yeah, we're not even all down on this.
Harley Quinn. Oh, that's a cool one. That's nice. Yeah, some cool ones there. The Joker. Oh, you got the vampire Batman there, yeah. That's creepy looking. That's a cool one too. Night Terror's Robin. That's of course it's gonna be the thing about it, him getting killed by the cane. So is this Red Hood Robin then this one, I guess? Looks like it. At least this is the covers. Tim Drake and Jason Todd, yeah. Okay. Night Terror's Superman. Y'all know Superman doesn't like magic. Night Terror's Action Comics #2. If that's even what this is, I don't know. I mean, like, and in the main series, like, the main event series, like, again, like, it has a lot of supernatural characters in it, says, which I like, but still not enough to hook me. The Flash. Wonder Woman. Hold on. Oh, nice Jay Lee cover. That's cool. Titans. And then you got series like this.
Yeah, Titans just started and they're freaking putting on a pause already.
Right. And not only that, Tom Taylor isn't even writing this. So, like, you know what I mean? It's like they really don't fucking care. They're just like, oh, okay, whatever. Shazam. Mark Waid is writing this one. I mean, I might check this out digitally, but again, this is another series that just started, and we're getting the fucking Night Terrors, right?
Yeah, freaking why don't you just handcuff your writers too?
That's really risky because, like, you're going 2 months throughout the summer, which with a series that's maybe 2 or 3 issues in, that you might get people not like they'll be like, hey, what happened to that book? And it'll go off their radar. I don't know, man. That's not good. Green Lantern #2. I mean, your casual comic fan, they might go in and pick up this, being like, oh, this is the next issue of Shazam. And be like, what the fuck is this? And be out, right? This isn't Shazam. The other one's all bright and fun. This is doom and
Yeah.
what's going on here? They got Black Adam. All right. Angel Breaker. I don't know who the fuck that is. I think it's another new character, or is it like part of the event. I don't know. Ooh.
Yeah, she's like Talia al Ghul's #1 henchman or something.
Okay. Zatanna. This might be worth checking out. Some good covers there. Punchline.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice cover. Yeah. Yeah, some good ones there. Ravager. Of course, Deathstroke's daughter. I think it's his daughter. I can't remember. The Penguin. Oh, okay, so there we go. That's it for Night Terrors, guys. The Penguin #1 by Tom King. And then
Isn't it by Chip Zdarsky?
No, so Chip Zdarsky. We'll get to that in a minute. He wrote the backup stories of the Penguin in the Batman series, if you recall. Like that was kind of, and this series is continuing the kind of where they left off with him. So this is the Penguin #1, Tom King, Raphael De La Torre. I might pick this up. I'm gonna definitely
read it, but I don't think I'll be picking it up.
Yeah, I definitely will read it. Same. I'll definitely read it. Maybe pick it up. I'm not sure. This is it. The Penguin Zero is written by Chip Zdarsky. This is comprised of all the this is made up of all the short stories that were in the back of the Batman book. Catwoman kind of running around doing that stuff for the Penguin.
Yeah, like with the kids or whatever.
Yeah. So if you guys missed that and you wanted to see the lead-in kind of the Penguin series, because he was apparently dead during the backup stories, that and Catwoman was tasked with like doing some shit for him. It was really good, actually. Good art, good story by Chip Zdarsky. So I think if you guys are interested in reading the ongoing and you didn't read the backups, this 0 issue $3.99 price tag is worth picking up, I would suggest. Superman 2023 annual. Nope.
No.
Well, I might read this online. I might read it digitally. This is by Joshua Williamson, who's the current writer. So yeah, I might read this. I won't be buying it. Action Comics presents Doomsday Special #1.
You might get that. That might be the only one I'm picking up.
Okay.
See what's going on there.
Hawkgirl #2, no. Unstoppable Doom Patrol #5. Yeah, I'll still be reading this digitally. And the interesting thing I saw about this, so the book must be popular or he just needed another issue. It's now 5 of 7 according to this list. So it looks like they're going to extend it by 1 issue anyways. So that's cool.
I suppose that's what DC's doing now too, is they're putting out everything as limited series, and if they, if they kind of catch fire, then they'll push them on.
Marvel does the same thing, but the way that Marvel does it is they'll just put it as #1 and it won't say 1 of 6. And then depending on sales in the next solicits, it might say 1 of 5 or something all of a sudden. Yeah. So they both do similar type of tactics. Unfortunately, things are driven by sales. So like, guys, if you are interested in some of these books, go out and pick them up, right? Because that does drive the future of some of these books, right? So World's Finest Teen Titans #2. Yes, I'm going to be reading this digitally, but yes. How about you? You going to be checking that out or?
Check it out. It's a slow week.
Batman, Superman, World's Finest, 18. Yes.
I'm not big on this story here. Oh, the first time Batman and Superman meet. Big deal.
Adventures of Superman, John Kent #6. Yeah, I'll continue reading this digitally. This has been good. This is the last issue of this one. So I've enjoyed this. It's been fun. Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow. No. Loving their 90s Superman, though. Superboy, Doomsday, Eradicator in the books this week. Batman Brave and the Bold, #4. I will probably continue to read some of these stories digitally. First issue had some interesting stuff in it. What does this one have? This is a Batman story. Oh, but the Tom King one's not in here anymore. Okay, and Night Terrors tie-in. Maybe not. And a Batman Black and White tale by Megan Fitzmartin and Balin Ortega. She's a good artist, but yeah, maybe not this one actually. Steelworks, Chris's favorite character.
Yeah.
Tales of the Titans #2, which I don't even know why they're doing this, but okay,
Yeah.
another Titans book. This is, I guess, focused on certain characters each issue. So this is Raven's issue, I guess. No, I think the 2 Titans books I'll be reading is plenty for me. Spirit World #4, no. The Vigil #4, no. We're gonna see the continuation of these newer character miniseries that are doing. City Boy, I think more multicultural type characters. I think Catwoman Uncovered. Oh, is this all covers? I think it's
all covers.
Okay. Nice covers though. Oh, that's a nice one. Poison Ivy Uncovered. Okay, same thing. These are fan favorite characters. People do love their covers, right? So
covers.
If you want a book collecting a lot of those great covers, then there you go. That's for you. Nort's Illustrated Swimsuit Edition #1.
I was gonna get this, but I think this is just another cover issue as well.
Yeah.
This from Campbell though, that second one. I might pick that one up.
Yeah, you don't get that every day. Yeah, so this is also collecting the steamiest swimsuit covers from DC's Best Talent all in one place for the very first time. And I know they had a slew of them last summer, I remember, right? So yeah, so
we have some coming this year too,
There you go. So there you go.
Cheesecake.
Hey, listen, this is the cheesecake area right here. Look at all this cheesecake. Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and you got some swimsuit type shit going on here with one of the lesser known green.
Everybody else, I guess,
Yeah, you might get some beefcake in this one too. I don't know, but maybe get the best ass in the DCU, Nightwing in there. Batman Beyond, Neo Gothic #2. No, I'm surprised they didn't do a Harley one actually with all those other ones. Where's the Harley one? What's going on?
I think I had one like last year or something.
Okay, Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red are #2. Yes, definitely getting this. Yeah, look at that Chris Samnee cover. Yeah, that's the one for me. Yep, that's the one I'm getting. That's sick. You getting this?
I think I got the first issue. I might pass on the second one. We'll see how the August pull list looks.
Riddler Year One, number 6, which apparently is pretty popular. I don't know. It's written by Paul Dano, the guy who played Riddler. I have no interest in this, but people seem to like it. So Riddler Year One, number 6. Batman White Knight presents Generation Joker, number 4. Yes.
Definitely be reading this. This is a bit of a surprise for me that it's, well, at least the first issue was good.
Yeah. Good stuff. Sandman Universe, Nightmare Country, The Glass House, number 4. No. I'm reading this in trade though. I'm not gonna read it online. I'm gonna pick up the trade. I read the first collection of this, written by James Tynion, and it was excellent. So I'm definitely gonna pick up the trade of that one. Peacemaker Tries Hard, number 4. Yes. Yeah, I'm picking this up. This was a lot of fun. Probably going with this cover here. I like that one. Yeah. Batman Incorporated 11. No. Batman The Adventures Continue season 3. No. Danger Street number 8. Oh, this is a really late week month for you, Chris, because of the result of the Night Terrors. DC Root, Fables, Multiversity hardly screws up the DCU. Scooby Doo, Static Shock, Batman and Scooby Doo Mysteries. Then you got some Facsimile edition, the Omega Men 3.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the first Lobo, if I'm not mistaken, this one.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Wildcats number 10, and that's it, guys. Wow. Even for me, it's a really light month because of these night things, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, take a break.
Yeah. Okay, what else we got here? Let's take a look here. I think we got some other solicitations. We can quickly look at the Image solicits. Oh yeah, big news actually in comic book news while we're waiting for this. Image went to Lunar distribution. Left Diamond. One of the last big publishers that was with Diamond now has left. There's almost nobody with Diamond now, so yeah, not looking good for them.
Sounds like shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah. Well, they did some bad business with folks, I guess, for over the years. Image was one of the last big ones that they were with, right? So, after DC and Marvel left, right? Okay, so Sacrificers number 1. I'm definitely picking this up. This is the new Rick Remender book coming out of Image. This is gonna be a fantasy title. There was actually a free comic book day issue preview of this as well that I didn't initially get on Free Comic Book Day week, but then I seen an issue out and about when I went to some other shops one day, and I snapped it up. I'm totally in for this. This is going to be a really good series, I think. I'm a big Rick Remender fan already, but yeah, this is going to be a Rick Remender type fantasy book. First, the preview issue was really good, guys. So yeah, this might be one you might be interested in, Chris. I don't know. Check it out.
I'm going to give this one a go. I'm looking for some new stuff here.
Yeah. This looks funny. I might check this out online. This is actually, again, Ryan Stegman branching out into some more writing gigs, it looks like. The Schlub, which I don't know. It just sounds like a funny concept. Maybe like a shitty superhero, maybe that you're not really used to. Maybe that's why calling it the Schlub. But yeah, that looks interesting. We got the Cull, number 1 of 5 from Kelly Thompson. I like her stuff. I might read this digitally. I don't think I'm going to pick this up. If I like it, I might, pick up the trade, but I do like Kelly Thompson's stuff. I don't know if this page fully loaded because I don't have any of the descriptions of the books here for you guys, but so apologies for that. But then we got this one, Enfield Gang Massacre 1 of 6. It looks like this is a spin-off miniseries from the book That Texas Blood, which I read in trade, which is really good. This is like a crime kind of book about a sheriff in Texas that gets involved in all these like fucked up like rural Texas type crime stuff. It's like, I don't know, like a Fargo-esque type of thing. There's like cults and serial murdering stuff and cases like that going on. There's 3 trades of this series out that I was really late to the party on, but I read them a few months ago. Really, really good stuff. So I'm probably going to check this out or pick it up in trade. This is the, it looks like a spin-off miniseries of that series. Captera Universal Truths. This is a book I think that they did on Substack. Chip Zdarsky wrote it. Kagan McLeod drew it. These are both Canadian creators, the artists as well. The first Capterra miniseries, Chris, came out like, I think like fucking like 7 years ago or something. I swear, like 6 years ago. It took forever for them to do a follow-up. This was a weird fantasy book with like weird Chip Zdarsky humor in it. I don't even remember if I loved it all too much. I did read it. It was okay from what I can remember. I might check this out, or I might read it digitally because it's been forever. I mean, they're going to have to like give us some sort of like a refresher at the start of this issue if this is their return to the book after this long. But it wasn't bad from what I remember.
The cover doesn't really grab me, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not a highlight of his stuff. I'll say that. But I will say, when I read this originally, he was just starting out and writing stuff, so I wasn't really a big fan of what he was doing at that time. But then as the years went on, like, I think if somebody's like picking this up now, like hot on Zdarsky, like because of all the great things he's been writing lately, they might kind of be like, oh, this is a new Zdarsky book, and check it out, not knowing this is something that he did like years ago. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. Quest number 1 looks like, again, like another fantasy type of book written and drawn by Jonathan Luna. I've read some stuff he's done. I've liked it, but I don't know about that one. Local Man Gold. Yeah, definitely gonna check this out. They're doing like a take on like the old Image crossover with Valiant, I think, back in the day, this shit. So very 90s-esque type of gimmicky type of cover. I've heard the writer, one of the writers and artists of this series, talk about this Gold issue. This is going to feature a bunch of crossovers of actual Image superhero characters. So we might see like Savage Dragon pop in there. We might see Invincible show up. So apparently that's supposed to be a really fun kind of like in between the arcs type issue that they're putting out.
Yeah, maybe I'll pick that one up.
Yeah, I've heard him on a podcast talk about it. It sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun, this issue. And that kind of does it for newer releases from Image, anyways. And then we're gonna see like a repeat.
Big game there.
Yeah, a repeat of some of the other series we've previously talked about that are coming out from Image. Arcade Kings, which I'm reading, I've been enjoying. Big Game number 2, yeah. More Jeff Lemire, Bone Orchard stuff, Tenement. Firepower's back with Robert Kirkman. I'll be definitely reading that again. I ate Fairyland. I think I'm a trade waiter now on. Kea, like I said, I talked about today. Really good stuff. Are you out completely on the Spawn stuff, Chris, or what's going on with that?
You got Scorch still coming in here and there.
Okay. Love Everlasting I dropped, but I picked up the trade. Newburn, again, I also dropped, and I read the trade, and I actually thought it was really good, and reading it in all one big chunk. So I'm back on board for that, reading that in trade. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. Scorch, you said you're still on board for this, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, nice cover.
It's the covers that got me there.
Oh, that's Haunt. Haunt's in this book? I didn't know that. That's cool. Spawn. I think that's about it, though. Void Rivals, that's a new Kirkman book. Again, I'll probably be reading that digitally, if anything. And World Tree, which I think we've only had 1 issue so far. They're soliciting the 5th one already here, so I think it's majorly delayed. But that first debut issue was good, so there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, and Dark Horse solicits here. I only wanted to bring this up. There's not much, I feel like, new stuff coming out this month, but I did want to mention this. Black Hammer, The End number 1, which is the return of Black Hammer, and apparently the wrap up of I think all like the last few years worth of Black Hammer stuff that Jeff Lemire has been doing. This is a 6-issue miniseries. First issue comes out in August. And but even like the way I think he said like about this story, like it may not be the last Black Hammer, but it's going to be the last Black Hammer, I guess, of whatever this long story arc is that he's been telling between all these miniseries and like the main story he's been doing. And I don't think he's completely shutting the door in case he wants to tell more stories in this universe, but this is the end of whatever this current storyline has been over the last whatever few years he's been writing this. So there you go. So that's Dark Horse's solicits. Nothing else very much new from them. But yeah, that's going to do it for the August solicits, guys, and some things we're looking forward to picking up. And stay stay tuned to September's in a few weeks. Chris, what are you looking forward to checking out next week?
Well, next week, got Punisher 12.
Yeah.
Some big comics, not many, but the big ones. ASM 26, Spider-Man 26, supposed to be some big stuff going down there. And DC Power Girl Special #1.
Okay.
That's what I'm buying, and there might be a few more that I read online.
Yeah, not too much for me either, I think. But yeah, there might be some more stuff I read online. Let me just see here what I'm picking up. Yeah, Spider-Man 26 as well. Punisher #12. Clobbering Time #3. Doctor Strange #3. And speaking of World Tree #2. And yeah, those are the things I'm physically picking up. I don't see any DC next week, though, that I'm picking up, which is weird. So maybe there's something online that I'm reading. I don't know. Hold on. I have this list.
I think there's only 5 or 6 comics from DC coming out.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list right now. There's the Power Girl thing you said you're picking up. Yeah, I think there's nothing from DC for me next week. So we'll see in terms of like other publisher stuff. Hold on. I'm just quickly looking if there's any other things I read online here. I got Image, anything else? Oh no, that's a reprint of Local Man. Oh yeah, Local Man comes out next week, so I'll read that online digitally. Yeah, that's it. It's this 5th week of comics, guys. Like you said, it's a 5 weeks of comics, this one, and sometimes it stretches it out to where you get light weeks or weeks that are very large as a result of them having to stretch it out, right? But I think that's it. Yeah, so that might be it for next week. Smaller week, so that's not bad. Not always a bad thing. All right, Chris. Speaking of this week, though, your favorite book of the week.
Let's see. I got a pretty good idea which one it's going to be. And it's going to be Nightclub, Mark Millar.
Yeah.
Millar, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I that was a good issue. I agree. If it wasn't between the tie that I have,
2 5s.
Yeah, if it wasn't between the tie between these 2 books for me this week, that would be my next runner-up. Would be Nightclub as well. Because it was a very middling week, but I just had so much fun, and maybe that's why. Maybe that did influence these ratings and kind of boosted them up for me in a week of like middle of the road type stuff. I just had so much fun reading both of these books, and it was great art across the board in these. But I gotta give the edge to the Ninja Turtles Usagi Yojimbo. Again, you got samurai robots, you got Mole Men Ninja, you got Ninja Turtles, you got Usagi. Good stuff, man. So yeah, I got to give it just the edge over Kea this week. But
well, I did read that giant cockatoo one last week. That's not a bad story. That's fun stuff.
I'm glad, man. See, I convinced you to finally check out giant. I've only been telling you.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is
fun though.
It's good for what it is. Like I said, it's only a 3-issue series, so it's like you're not gonna get like a fucking huge saga out of that type of story. But like it's funny. It's funny. It's fun. Yeah, for sure. I liked it. So you might be on board for the last issue then, Chris.
Yeah, I'm trying to find. I don't think I'll be buying it, but I'm too late to pull it. But
yeah,
definitely read it.
Well, there you
go. Ended there with the
with the pulling it. Well, there you go, guys. So, hey, listen, if I could convince Chris to read Giant Cockshoe #2, there's hope for all of us. No, but hey, man. So that's gonna do it for this week, guys. Thank you for tuning in. As always a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys here next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Later, guys.
All right. Cheers.